Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. All right, everybody. We are back with a little Canadian content, and we are doing City and Color. This is A Pill for Loneliness. All right. So I've seen City and Color once live. I will probably never see them again live. A little too mellow for me. A little too mellow for me. That's the best way. Now, the reason why I bring this up is when I went to see them live, this was the album they were touring on. Not only were they touring on this album, I actually got a free copy of this album when me and Tracy bought tickets for the concert, which was really funny because we had bought the album, so we had it for the concert, and then we got the album anyways. So we ended up with 2 copies of it. Ended up giving, I think, the other copy to my daughter. Okay. We got, what is it? 3, 6, 9, 11 tracks on this album. Now, the whole way around, I do enjoy this album, but it is definitely a very slow and mellow album for the most part. This is what I would call Sunday afternoon music. Except for, I don't even think that's appropriate. This is more like chilling out in your bedroom at night before you go to bed after having a really rough day. You put something just kind of mellow on to fall asleep to almost. That's kind of how I feel about this. Now, it's not like mellow. You know, there are some songs that are a little more upbeat, some that are more downbeat and whatnot. But the whole way around, the album is not exactly what I would call lively. You know, it's kind of got a very somber, kind of downbeat kind of vibe and feel to it. Let's get into the tracks, okay? So we got Living and Lightning, which opens up the album. Really good way to open up the album because while it is mellow, it's got a little bit of a pulse to it. Gets you going into the album, lets you know what you're in for, both on the heavy, well, I can't say heavy side. I mean, there is one track in here where it gets kind of heavyish, but you know, a little more of a pace to it, a little less of a pace. You know, it's got a good balance in there. After that, we get into Astronaut, which isn't bad, but really, doesn't do much for me. Imagination isn't bad. I like Imagination. That one takes up the tempo a little bit more, gives a little more vibe, a little more feeling. Both Astronaut and Imagination both have a very spacey-esque kind of vibe to them. Astronaut is more kind of drifty, like, you know, you're actually kind of drifting. And Imagination is definitely more grounded, looking up at space. When, you know, that's the best way I'm going to verbally try and describe what it's like to go from one to the other with the way that they kind of feel and vibe. Then we get into Difficult Love. I don't mind that one, but it really doesn't do too much for me. Me and the Moonlight is one of those songs I really do enjoy while the album is playing. I think it's got a great vibe to it. It's something I can really just kind of listen to anytime. If I were putting together a best of or a greatest hits or, you know, my top 10 or whatnot, there is a possibility that Me and the Moonlight might make it into that. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a possibility. Mountain of Madness. I enjoy this one. This one's definitely that one song where I said it's kind of heavy. You know, it's got kind of a deep, heavy sound to it. That's Mountain of Madness. Really dig into this one. This one really has a good vibe to it. Really good feel to it. You know, well, I shouldn't say good. For me, it's good. For most people, it's kind of like, woo, that's dark and heavy, man. But it's something. Compared to the rest of this album, it's kind of one of the more heavier tracks. And it's another one where if I were putting together a best of or whatnot, it might actually make that list. Song of Unrest follows that up. I like the change that we get from Song of Unrest, but I'm not necessarily into Song of Unrest. You can probably hear all the geese honking in the distance there. I'm actually sitting in a park right now where I've been recording a lot of these reviews, and there's a lot of geese around. It's the reason I choose this park to sit in. Someone's out there feeding the geese right now, which is really kind of cool. Anyways, moving along. After Song of Unrest, we got Strangers, and I do enjoy Strangers. It's another one when the album is playing, I really get into it. I don't think of it too much when the album's not, though. The Warriors, this one's... I've lived through the Warriors, okay? And the type of Warriors they're talking about on here. I've lived through them, and it can be very enjoyable, but it is not necessarily something that I want to listen to or something that I'm going to enjoy listening to over and over. Most of that is just because it kind of hits too close to home. I've lived through it. Then we get into Young Lovers. Young Lovers is kind of a nice little change from everything else that's been going on at this point. With Young Lovers, you kind of get to have a little romance, a little softness to it, you know, something that feels good, really feels good, not just, you know. And then the album finishes with Lay Me Down. Lay Me Down is kind of like, what is a death song? In the sense that it's, okay, Lay Me Down is another one that hits close to home, but not in the same way. There is a point where you fought for so long, you've pushed for so long, you've gone for so long that you're just done. That's it, you're done. You just want to lay down, have someone lay you down, and that's, you know, put you to rest. That's it. And, you know, if you've been there, if you've been in, you know, the thick of things, you know, especially with the way the world is now, you know, I try not to get too personal on these things, but sometimes you can't help it. With Lay Me Down, it's one of those ones where, you know, all right, I went through a really bad rough patch in my life when I got divorced. And believe it or not, the divorce was only a small part of that rough patch. That was actually one of the better things that happened for me out of that deal. But in a 3-month period, I had multiple family members die. I got divorced, lost my job, just a whole giant slew of things. And by the end of it, you know, you just kind of done. You just want to lay down and die, man. Or have someone, you know, lay you down. That's it. Lay me down, put me to rest. That's it. You know, you fought so hard, you go through so much, you do so much, and then that's just it. That's enough is enough. Yeah, so yeah, that's it, folks. I don't want to get into too much else on that one. What I will say is this is definitely a really cool album, although mildly depressing album. Compared to the two previous ones I've covered, Little Hell, and I don't remember the other one. This one's a lot more depressing. A lot more depressing. The other ones had a lot more kind of hope and romance to them in certain ways. I don't know if I would recommend this album. I do want to recommend this album. You know, if you really like some nice, mellow, chilled out, you need a good depression kind of music, this will work for you. This will work for you. If you want something that is a little uplifting and will take you out of that depression, I don't know if this will work for you. Outside of that, though, I really don't have much else to add to this one. After seeing City in Color live, I've kind of drifted away from City in Color, and, you know, I've actually got quite a few more albums from them I need to cover still that I actually own, and I just haven't gotten around to covering yet because I really did drift away after seeing them live. It's not that they're bad, they're good, they're just boring as live, you know. Just if I were in a small bar and they had been playing, it would have been great. Being in, you know, a casino venue where, you know, you got a few thousand people and whatnot, that was really damn mellow, man. I mean, this is the same venue I've seen Alice Cooper at, along with other musicians. We're going to say Alice Cooper multitudes of time, though. Same exact venue, exact same stage, and man, City in Color just kind of didn't work it right, you know. And I've seen, you know, I saw Kings of Chaos on the same stage as well, and they got out there and they really rocked that stage. And there was nothing, not like Alice Cooper where you get a show, you know, just lights, basic lights with Kings of Chaos, and still more than enjoyable than City in Color. And Kings of Chaos is a good example because I think I paid the same amount to go see Kings of Chaos as that we paid to go see City in Color. Anyways, folks, I've dragged on long enough on this one. Let me know what you think of this. Am I being too hard on this album? Am I not being hard enough? That's what the comment section for. Let me know. While you're on your way down there, you'll see a couple links. Check those out. There's a like button, a subscribe button, bell for notification. Please hit those. Otherwise, folks, peace, love, take care, and I will see you in the next review.